What's going on? It is Jeff St. Pierre here, and this is episode 172 of the Adult Education Podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing chores. Trust me, it's a lot better than it sounds, okay? Joining me is comedian and actor Jordan Carlos. We all probably feel like there are some things we could do more around the house. And if you're hearing this and you don't think that you could, trust me when I say that your partner definitely does. It's hard to keep up with some of these things, right? Like, who actually washes baseboards? Come on. The load of things that need to get done tend to fall on the shoulders of one person in the household, and that can create a lot of tension or resentment in a relationship. Jordan Carlos realized this was happening in his home. He was gone a lot for work as a comedian. When he was home, though, he didn't prioritize household activities. In his mind, his working was enough of a contribution to the family. But then he started to realize that his lack of effort was causing more friction in the relationship. Jordan had a choice: likely lose his wife or step it up. And that's where his new book comes from. It's called Choreplay, the marriage-saving magic of getting your head out of your ass. Jordan tells how he almost lost his family before he realized how far some simple help around the house would go. He shares this story with some brutal honesty, which I love, and his comedic timing that is fantastic. You know, it's truly amazing how low the bar has been set for men, and yet somehow we still disappoint people. I don't know how we keep doing it. It's kind of amazing. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Jordan Carlos. Hey, what's going on, Jordan?
I'm okay. I'm doing all right. What's going on is this. We are doing this right now, sir.
And I appreciate your time to do this. I'm excited about this.
Thanks for having me on.
I have really enjoyed reading through this book. I love your storytelling. I love the humor you bring to it. I've really had a lot of fun with this one.
Oh, I appreciate that. It was a journey to write. You got to laugh to keep from crying a lot of the time, basically. So I was like, I think this is the best lens to put this through, because I've just read so many kind of like very sober, stuffy, and serious things about this issue, you know?
Yeah, and I think your honesty about your relationship and about your life and your personality is kind of a breath of fresh air. Not to say that other people aren't honest, but I mean, you get right into it. You get deep into all of the issues and how things you were doing are causing problems, and I just appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, man. I figured, like, somebody had given me some advice that were like, just write as though everyone close to you is dead or won't talk to you anymore, and you'll be okay. And then you can just be vulnerable.
Somebody said that about podcasting to me too. And I think it actually works because none of my family or friends actually listen to my podcast. So I think I'm okay.
Jeff, you've unlocked it.
Somehow I have.
Yeah, for real, man, for real.
Jordan, the name of the book is Choreplay, the marriage-saving magic of getting your head out of your ass. And I love the title Choreplay because my wife has once said to me that the sexiest thing she's ever seen me do is vacuum.
Yes. Listen, a Dyson, you're thrusting that Dyson back and forth. You're getting low under the couch, getting those nacho crumbs. Bro, she's watching.
I know. I told her, if you like that, wait till you see me do the dishes and the laundry. I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole new level. It's a whole new level. New levels, new devils. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like, I'd taken some of that, right? Like, there's this book called Fair Play by Eve Rodsky that's very good. I was like, okay, I just love remixes and things. And then like the marriage saving magic of getting your head out of your ass is like a remix of Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Getting Your Life Together, whatever it is. And, you know, so I was like, okay, let me just take these two and kind of mash them together and then, you know, pour my style over it. And I was always blown away because like two things made me write this book. And one, I'll talk to you about right now, which is Marie Kondo, who's like, you know, the queen of clean.
Sure.
I read this article about her. She was like, I'm giving up the goat. Like, it's over. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I can't keep my house clean. She's got 3 kids.
I remember this article. Yeah.
You remember this article?
Yes.
Good article. But I remember it mentioned a Mr. Kondo. There's a Mr. Kondo. And then I was like, what's Mr. Kondo doing? Where's he at? So, I mean, I kind of wrote this book for Mr. Kondo too. Like, I mean, she's so good. All she needs is like somebody to, like, you know, the ball's rimming in and out like a basketball. You just need a tip in. Help her out.
I'm glad you mentioned Fair Play too, because I haven't read that book, but the idea of fairness comes into mind. And I think in a lot of relationships, there's this, even if it's not real, there's a subconscious like chore wheel, right? Like we're all like, okay, I'm going to do the dishes. You're going to do the laundry. I'm going to vacuum. You're going to whatever. Like there's like, everybody does their fair share. But I once heard someone say the best thing in a relationship is don't keep score. And that is so true. And that's exactly what you do in this book. You don't keep score. You realized your shortcomings and you said, I got to fix this. Not I've got to do an equal amount. It was just, I got to start doing anything. I got to step up my game.
You can only do better than what I was doing.
Sure.
But so hats off to anybody picking up this book. I would add this, like, you know, what's fair isn't always equal, and what's equal isn't always fair. Sometimes you're just doing a little equity, and equity can be like 90-10, you know, but something to save the other person from doing 100% is really important. So that's kind of like where I'm coming from. And for me, chore wheels are great. I just live in such a situation where it's like, you know, I got 2 kids. I'm in that sandwich age. We're taking care of also my wife's parents a little bit. And so those responsibilities make for fluid situations, right? And so I feel like for me, Choreplay is a vibe. It's a vibe of being like, I hate to be so like intense, but a war footing where you're like, okay, I'm gonna take care and plug the hole, like come what may. I'm not sitting back. Men are so good at sitting back, right? That's like our whole culture. Like in America, we work out so that I wish a dude would like try, because I'm ready. Yeah. This warrior is ready. Like I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to take out the garbage. You just tell me at a moment's notice. I'm ready to do the things. Why not just like act on it? You know, why not just act on it? Show me what's up. And also don't wait for mom to tell you, you know, I think that's kind of another thing I was like getting at here was like, man, like, did I replace my mom with my wife paging Dr. Freud?
Sure.
Like, so that was like a big thing to me. It was like, okay, you know, I'm just waiting on somebody to tell me these things just like my mom did. And if it's cleanliness, then I'm cleaning up my stuff only because I don't want to get yelled at like my mom used to yell at me. So I'm trying to break that pattern as well and ask myself, what standard of clean do I want? What do I want? Not what does mom want, but what do I want?
Let's take it back a little bit to kind of before the book happens, but you start to realize something's going on, and just set the stage here so we kind of know where we're going for the rest of this conversation.
Sure, absolutely. So before in the before times,
yes,
in the before times,
pre-2020, yeah,
pre-2020, I was just like out there doing comedy, acting, going on the road all the time, and I didn't really have time for stuff around the house. I felt that like I got like a pass because I was bringing in the money. I was bringing in the money, the resources, all these things. And really, I talked a good game about like, you know, being an equal partner and stuff like that and respecting women, whatever it was. But I was doing that in the streets, but not in the sheets, so to speak.
Sure.
So, oh God.
I'm so glad that made the conversation. That's perfect.
I'm sorry.
Things I didn't expect today. Let's check that off.
On your bingo card?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that was me, you know, like I just, and I also associated that like being home and cleanliness with kind of like me losing out in some way, right? Like, because I had this really bad year, like 2009 was a really bad year. There was the writer's strike in 2008, which affected entertainment in 2009. And as such, I just wasn't getting jobs, it was just hard to come by. Things were hard to come by. When that happened, I almost gave up on comedy, like was going to go get a regular job, whatever it was. And I was home all the time, and I hated that I would like have to clean up before she came home and have things spick and span. And I felt like I wasn't functioning or I wasn't contributing. You know, these are all this is what we're socialized to do as men. And I felt like a failure. And so,
can I interrupt you really quick?
Oh, please.
Because I'm kind of going through a similar situation. Back in the fall, my giant conglomerate corporation does an annual firing where they try to boost their stocks before the end of the year, kind of thing. And I was a victim this past fall, which is fine. It is what it is.
Sorry,
but it's all right. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm in that position now where like my wife works all day and I'm at home, and there are days where like I'll spend all day puttering around the house, cleaning, doing stuff. Then she gets home and she'll be like, "Did you apply to a job?" And I'm like, "Actually, No, but I did all the dishes. I vacuumed, I cleaned, I washed our sheets. Like I did all, so it's like there is this thing of like, I do sometimes feel like I'm failing just because I'm
Mhm.
at home and I'm not accomplishing some of those standard things that I was used to in the
Right.
workforce or in the job front. So I completely understand what you're talking about.
So, oh, okay, you get it, man. I mean, it was a time for me, a moment for me that was like I had a lot of like self-pity
Hmm.
and I felt, like I said, sorry for myself. And then I didn't learn the lesson. I didn't really learn that A, nobody's keeping score. B, that's your ego talking. Yes, cleaning it, as you're saying, Jeff, is contributing and making the home right and doing what you can within your capacity is helpful and adds to the unit. So I just got really lucky and got in this like Crestor commercial that ran forever, and I felt like a retiree because it was like a national. I got really so lucky. So I learned nothing. I learned nothing, right? So
I'm
I
so
dodged
lucky
the
I have no
bullet. Yeah,
knowledge.
yeah. So then you fast forward, right, to 2020, March of that year. Everything goes into lockdown, including entertainment, and as such, I'm home all the time again. And my wife is teaching it at this point. She's a college professor, and she's also just taking care of the house as well. So she's like double stacked, or what I mentioned in the book as the second shift or carrying an extra load, right? So I found myself again in that same position that I was in 2009. And this time, like I like to say, when the tide goes out, you see the rocks. Like I said, I'd learned nothing.
Yeah.
I was the same self-pitying, wallowing situation, same guy I didn't want to be. And by this point, though, what's cute in your 20s is not cute in your 40s. And so, like,
It's true. It's so true.
somehow, I don't know. It's weird. Same guy. Do tastes change? Okay. So that was not cute. And we also had kids at this point, right? And they had appointments and they have like shoe sizes that need to be known and teachers' names that need to be known and things like that and places to be. And I mean, like it had grown, right? It had grown. First, it was just a germ of it when we were both like living together before we were married. And now this kind of like, slacking off and indolence really had kind of grown even more, right? Now I didn't know about what was going on with the kids. We had a house. I didn't know what was going on in the house. I didn't know anything. I had basically become kind of like redundant.
Yeah, you mentioned in the book that you feel like you weren't, not worthy isn't the right word, but you weren't valued. Like you weren't like a piece of the puzzle anymore. You were just kind of there in the house, but you didn't matter in the intricacies of the house running.
Absolutely. In any organization, like you want to make sure that you are an additive,
Yeah.
right? And so that was not what was going on. I mean, even my kids were just like, "Dad's a mess," I mean, and they were like, at the time, they were no more than 10. Like the
Yeah.
eldest was 10, so they could see right through me, which is like kids are so good at that. It just came to a point where we were, there's a lot of gaslighting on my part about my role in the house. The D word was getting thrown around a lot, not delivery or DiGiorno, but like pretty close. And then we had front row seats to a divorce and like on her side of the family that was just really super ugly. And then in kind of like not like in the least sexy ways, people were like breaking up, in this kind of like I'll just call it the mez, like MEHS. It just felt like
Yeah.
they were just like, yeah, enough of you, and which was really bad. And I think just one night I realized this is I have like maybe a couple days here
Yeah.
until she says it because most women do anyway initiate until she says it,
Yeah.
and calls the game. And I was like, well, do I want to break up? Do I want to be single? I got to tell you, Jeff. I mean, I punch way above my weight. Like my wife is a friggin' smoke show. She's often mistaken for like Naomi Watts
Oh,
and
okay.
or like she's gotten Margot Robbie before. So I'm like, lightning is not going to strike twice. You know,
This is my one shot.
yeah, it's my one shot. Do not, what does Eminem say? Do not miss your opportunity to
Right.
blow.
Yeah.
Mom spaghetti.
Well, you had
So
said too,
that's,
like there were
yeah.
some points where like there were some signs, like she would make comments to you, but I was reading the book and I was thinking to myself, that's got to be
Yeah.
tough because you're a comedian and she's a college professor. So she's obviously an intelligent woman. There's got to be like a relationship between you two where like you both make comments because you're smart, like you're funny, you're witty, you're thinking about things all the time. What was the point where she started saying things and you were like, oh damn, this is not funny anymore. Like this is not a joke.
I think it was like she would reminisce about stuff about because we at that time okay, so Malcolm was like my son is 2016 20, he's 4 years old, and you know at 4 3 whatever it is, toddlers, they have a hard time sleeping,
Yeah.
hard time getting through the night. But I was before times I was either out doing shows, comedy, whatever it was, you know, and she'd be alone. She'd tell a story, and not purposely,
Yeah.
but be like, you know, that was when, you know, his asthma was so bad and you weren't there.
Yeah. It's
And
that
I
last
was
line and
alone.
you weren't there. Yeah, exactly.
And it broke my heart piece by piece. And you weren't there. I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember taking that so personally, right? And in defending myself, when I would hear you weren't there and I was alone, and I'd be like, you know, that's bullshit. I was there, baby. You know, the whole time. Yeah, that was like when she would say, I'm alone. I do this alone. I am alone, over and over again. Those words, you can't talk your way out of not being there. You know, either you're there or you're not there. It's a binary, and I wasn't there. And that really landed for me. And I was like, she's right. And it was sincere. It was very sincere. You know, there was a sincerity in that, and the loneliness of that, and her kind of like, I could tell she probably felt like a single parent sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
that can be tough. I can only imagine because of your career pre-pandemic, right? Where you are, I mean, you were on TV. I saw you on TV. Like you were on TV, you're doing stand-up, you're traveling a lot. Like that's just part of your world. You can't escape that in what you do. So it's got to be hard because even when you start to realize what she's saying to you, you're still thinking like, but how do I change that? Because that is my life. Like that is who, that's my world that I exist in. So there has to be a really epic change for you when you decide, okay, I got to go all in on this.
It's epic, but you know what? It was small because I'm not a big change guy. I'm like, it has to V out a vector, right? So for me, it was like, I saw this guy. This guy was like world famous among the moms in Brooklyn for making a cup of coffee.
I'm so glad you're telling this story. So please continue. I'm so glad.
World famous, Canadian, of course.
Of course.
And then, of course, they'd be like, oh, Canadian guy. Oh, he does this. Oh, we love Canadian guy. It basically, in our group of moms and dads, it got down to me and him as the last two non-co-parent dads. So I was like, okay, we're the last rats in the trap. Like, so what? Tell me more about this coffee thing. Like, do you grind the beans by hand? Like, do you roast them? He's like, man, I just put a Krups in the machine. Beep, boop, bop, boop, bop. 7:15, and it's ready to go. And I'm a big hero, right? So I was like, I can do that. And which was tough because it required actually waking up in the morning. I didn't really I realized my wife had like taken the bulb out of my lamp because there was no need for it.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
It's like, I'm going to use this somewhere else. We don't need
This guy doesn't need an end table.
The coffee story, though, is brilliant. And it just goes to show, and I've been experiencing this lately in my own life, how low the bar has been set for men. Like my wife went out of town for a week. She had a family thing that she had to leave for. And we have a 5-year-old daughter, and she and I are cool. Like we're good. Everything is fine, right? But every mom and her from her preschool, even our neighbors were texting me and messaging me, are you okay? Can we make you dinner? And I was like, what do you think goes on here? Like, first of all, and I love my wife, so I'm not insulting her, but like, I'm the one that makes dinner every day. Like she does, I don't think she knows where the pots and pans are in the house. So just the idea that they were like, can we please make you food? We're not sure if you guys will survive. I'm like, we got this. But that's how low the bar men have set over the years. It's like just making a simple cup of coffee in the morning is going to change your life forever. I laughed so hard reading that part of your book.
It's wild, man. It's wild, but it's all true. It's all facts. From that, I was like, okay, in comedy, we are taught yes and we are taught
Yeah.
if this, then what else. So I just started looking around for like other little things that I could do, that would make her life maybe a little bit easier. And one of them was like, okay, I can make the lunches. She would just like in the kitchen, and I'm sure you probably do this when you're frustrated, like the banging of the pots and the
Oh yeah.
pans as you're doing a super simple task. So she would just do that with the lunches, and I was like, I think I can do the lunches. So I was like, I'll just do the lunches, and then I was like Dale Earnhardt. I was just like in the pit crew. I was like, and assemble them so quickly. So that's like that takes 5 minutes of lunch, 10 minutes out, and I'm done, and I don't mind it, right? And I didn't say like, oh, from now on, I'm the lunch guy. I
Right.
just kind of did it. I did it. It's a vibe. I feel like if you're in tune with your partner, if you know what makes them upset, then you know what makes them happy. It's like just doing the opposite. That's what my mom used to always say to me and my brother and sister. She's like, if you know what makes them mad, then you know what makes them happy. Leave them alone.
Right.
Like, so it's just like falling back on these kind of things. I did that, and also made their breakfast before they left. No problem. My kids, like, they're little string beans. They
Right.
barely want toast butter. That's it. They're probably not going to eat it.
Literally. Yeah. Toast. That's it.
They're going to hand you the trash
Yeah,
when you're done, like you're the freaking butler.
Are you
like
in my house?
W2.
Are you seeing my daily life? How do you know exactly what's going on in my world every day?
Yeah. Do you owe me a W-9? Like, what is happening right now? So, like, that's these little small things I just started to like pick up on incrementally. And then I started to kind of like, then bigger things happen. Like a friend of mine, I relayed to them what I was trying to do. And they gave me a book called the 5 a.m. Club.
Okay.
And which is a bonkers book. It's a bonkers book. The big lesson is wake up at 5 a.m. and you'll probably be all right. In all that, it was just discovery. I knew I wanted to be with my wife, and I knew I wanted to just help out more.
Mm-hmm.
But even in helping out more, even in like, let's say you got great routines, like you go to the gym every day, you want to stay organized. What men lack a lot of the time, what dads lack a lot of the time, is time to themselves.
Yep.
So even if I did work out or whatever it was downstairs doing a video, and my kid comes through with friggin' whatever Lego, God knows what, a Godzilla, and he's like, I'm like, right? Like I get frustrated by that. So I started waking up at 5 and working out, or 5, and if I had an off day, I would watch a movie that I like.
Sure.
At that hour, because it's my time to reclaim. And so that way, later on in the day, things would slide off my back a little bit more.
Yeah.
If because I'd had that moment to myself that was purely mine, unalloyed, and nothing that my family could touch or anybody could touch. I did that, and things started to really kick into gear. And I feel now the result is I get to stay with my wife. It's great.
Yeah.
And our romantic life is so much better, because of the things that I do for myself and the things that I do around the house. And I guess that's kind of like, that's all I wanted, what I mean, out of this. And the rest is kind of like all the other things that I do are definitely like icing.
Well, I'm glad you said you do stuff for yourself too, because towards the end of the book, you have a section where you talk about you have to be a little bit selfish. And I know a lot of this conversation and a lot of the book is talking about the things that you started to do differently, that you stepped up in the house to help out, to make sure you were an active part of the family, relieving some stress from your wife, and just really just being involved. But you can't just put everything into that. You also still have to think about who you are and what's going to make you happy. Like you have to find that happiness. And I would love for you to elaborate a little bit more about that, where like, yes, you can be a bigger part of the household, but you also still have to be a little selfish.
Absolutely. You got to be a little selfish. In fact, a lot of what my wife was asking me to do, or what she wanted more of, she would tell me directly, but she would also tell the ladies, like they would have these like Froze Fridays, during COVID, and wherein the ladies would like voice complaints about their guys.
Sure.
And they would just be like, if only he would do this, and if he would just clean up his mess, then that would be great. So then I got really selfish. I heard these messages, got really selfish, and was like, yeah, I'll just do like my thing. That's all she's asking, is to clean up my area. So I would just start cleaning up my clothes and nobody else's.
Yeah.
And that was fine. No one said anything. Or I would wash my clothes, nobody else's. That was fine. You know, just taking care of my dishes, my things. She was just like, please, I'll do everybody else's. I'll clean everybody else's stuff. If you could just clean up your mess, that'd be huge. And like getting that clarity and that distinction was enormous, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she just wanted me to take care of my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you're saying, the bar is low. She's taking care of everybody else, organizing everything. So if you could just like clean up after yourself, you. So I did that, and then once I did that, I was like, I looked around and I was like, I could probably clean my kids' rooms too.
Sure.
You know? Yes, but for me, it had to be organic.
Yeah.
It had to be organic, and I think a lot of other people out there, it has to be organic. You don't want it to be like put on you. Mm-hmm. One more thing that's put on you, you know?
Yeah, and you're a couple years older than I am. And
yeah.
So we're of the same generation where we saw the moms take the load of the work a lot more than I think. I think it's a lot closer to split now than it was before. So we had, like, I think where I'm getting it, I'm long road to get there, but where I'm getting is, I think in our heads, because of the way we grew up in our generation, we still think of the household as primarily female driven. You know, whether we want to or not, it's an unconscious or subconscious thing that we think. When I go home now, my mom is still doing everything for my dad and they're in their 70s, you know, like it hasn't changed in that household, and that's fine. It works for them. But I think you have to find that way to break through that mindset and go, damn, I can do all of this too. Throw on Alexa, play my playlist. I'm going to do the dishes for 20 minutes and it's great.
Absolutely. You got to get the cookout playlist. That is full of bops, no skips. And you're doing the dishes, like, come on, to Luther Vandross. Oh, my love.
When you were growing up, was your house silent during chores? Because that's what mine was. There was no noise ever. And to think of a house that's quiet is just mind-boggling to me, right? Like, there's nothing we do in this house where there isn't music playing in the background or somebody watching a TV show.
Yes, yeah. My mom would put on, like, she would either put on, like, Aretha Franklin, gospel music, but something that had to be uplifting.
Yes.
It had to be, like, it had to fill the house. Because it was time to get to work, you know? And like, she definitely, like, we were little child soldiers. Like, she definitely put us to work around the house. And that was probably one of the worst correlations I ever had with housework, was because my mother, and I love her, but like, she'd be like, if you don't clean your room, it's your ass. It's your ass. And I'm coming. Lockdown. She was like Denzel at the end of Training Day on us. You know what I'm saying? It felt like she's like, show program, 24-hour lockdown. I'm putting cases on everybody. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Like, that was a typical Saturday morning.
When I talk about how many times I got grounded as a kid, my wife is like, grounded? What's that? I'm like, oh, welcome to my world. Like, I will tell you about being grounded.
You will sit there. You will just sit there in solitary confinement. Like, it was just punitive. I understood that. That's what it was. But she had a household room. I also, my mom was a college professor. She was running this household. And I became what was modeled for me. My father, a doctor, always out, always doing his thing. A doctor to women too, by the way, delivering babies, doing his thing. But when he got home, my mom he was like, this is one woman I'm going to skip here and I can't help you unless, so it was crazy. But that's what was modeled for me. My dad, OBGYN, went out late at night, justified, and my mom took care of the rest. So I copied that in a sense. And I don't think I learned that I should contribute. I was just like, man, dad's a doctor. He does well. And that's all you got to do, man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. You're like, you're bringing home money. Like, you're doing all right. You're being the fun dad. You're coming home. And there is something to that, right? Like, because you're gone so much. When you are home, making that bond with your kids is so important, especially for dads, because I feel like dads don't take that time as often as the moms do, because the moms tend to be doing a little bit more of that work. So, I mean, I was reading the book and I was like, I felt bad for you because you were spending time with them and you were trying to create that bond and you were still being so hard on yourself for it, which I get, right? Like, I understand understand the full story, but like you were still making that moment.
You know what it is though? Here's the thing. You got your show ponies and your workhorses.
Okay.
And I was more of a show pony.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is, because my wife knew more about what was going on with the kids, the family. She knew the names of the teachers. I didn't know shit. She knew the names of the neighbors. I didn't know anything. What was going on with everybody's, their interior worlds in their lives. And so like I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take them on like the spree of their little lives. I'm gonna blow their doors off, take them to all the museums in New York and get pancakes, do thing, whatever you want to see, kid. Like it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do is the best day of your life, right? And so I realized I was fighting fire with fire. I used to do that. I used to take my wife on fun dates like that, and then I pivoted that energy to my kids, left her kind of like in the lurch on the side. Like that's just not a good thing to do. My intentions were to make up for the time I'd lost. That's fine. But also to gain the hearts and minds of my kids over my wife, and to show like she's the boring and mean one, and dad is the nice and fun one.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's so immature. It's so immature. I'll just say this, Jeff, when I was researching like fun one or fun parent, what scared me was that's a behavior in co-parenting. So
where
basically,
like generally like divorced couples, you're both working together. There's one it's like good cop, bad cop, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What am I doing? I'm acting like I'm already divorced.
Yeah.
So I had to really think about that and be like, okay, I just shifted. And like the next date night we had, I was like, all right, let's go down to this. Like, I mean, I do know fun places to go in New York City. There's like old speakeasies and billiard halls that I know about, and like old jazz clubs. So I'm like, let's do that, babe. Let's have one of those kind of fun nights. And I think I've more properly put the energy back towards her in that way.
And you talk about how your relationship with your kids has changed too, because like now you will be the one that says, hey, it's bedtime, or you will be the one that says like, hey, we got to take a bath or whatever. But like, but there's something good about that too. Like if you're just the fun parent, I don't think there's the same level of respect for you as they get older. You have to be a parent that has some boundaries, and then that respect grows. And they don't hate you for it. It's just different.
Put me in a home, Jeff. They won't put me in. I'm the personality hire. Jeff, you need the personality hire.
That's fair. That's fair.
Even in the lifeboat, okay? Chopping it up, keeping it cute, doing magic tricks. Let's go.
Oh God. I love the last chapter of the book too, because it reminds me of my favorite quote from Parks and Rec. The last chapter is put your whole ass in or get your whole ass out. And my favorite quote is Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec. He says, never half-ass two things, whole ass one thing. And it's just, it's such a brilliant line, but I immediately thought of that. But you're right. Like you got to be all in. Like you can't just half-ass this. You got to go all in on this process.
You got to go all in. Even if it's just a little itty bitty bit, you got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
You got to stay consistent, and it'll make all the difference. And consistency, you just, it gets meta. You start putting one skill on top of another, and before you know it, you're actually, you're spinning those plates and taking care of more and doing more than you ever thought. Like today, I mean, you got to be fully committed. Like, oh, man, I woke up today and my daughter mentioned like briefly, she's 13. She's like, I have volleyball practice. By the way, it was like sometime last week, and she didn't put her on the calendar or anything like that. And then like this morning, I'm already up. So she's like, I have volleyball. This is also my day to drive the carpool of kids to school, but volleyball is at 7:30, and the kids get dropped off at school at 8:20. So here's what we got to do, Jeff. We got to drive her to school before 8:20, right? For volleyball at 7:30. Then we got to go all the way home, pick up those damn kids, and bring them all the way back to the school. That's my life, Jeff. So,
2 trips.
2 trips. But it was okay, because I'd already made her lunch, right? Made her breakfast, which she didn't eat. And then like, and I handled all the rest. I had a voiceover audition, which I just did when I got back from dropping off the kids. And now, my friend, I'm in my office talking to you. But I don't think that I could have thought, I would have bailed. I would have been like, I can't do all this, like before. I'm tired of being that guy. I'm tired of being that guy. I'm tired of being so angry or upset. And it is unfair. It is unfair, the things that you've been asked to do sometimes. But like, do you have the grace, the poise, the strength to pull it off, man? You know?
Yeah. Well, Jordan, listen, I appreciate the time. And I will say my one complaint about the book is I got an advanced copy and I don't have the foreword from Charlemagne the God. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm going to go to a bookstore and just read the foreword when it comes out.
Can I say something now?
Yes, please.
Can I say something now, Jeff?
Here, I'll show you right now. It's just literally a blank page that says foreword.
No.
Charlemagne the God.
That sounds like it. You know what? And that's how he felt about it.
He's like, no, I'm not going to even do it.
I could read it to you. I've got it right here. No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you, this is the hardcover.
Oh, okay. We're speaking, the book comes out on February 10th, which is tomorrow at the time that we're speaking.
Tomorrow.
This interview will come out in a few days, but.
There we go. See, forward.
Oh, look at that.
And that has words.
It's full words.
Actual
Yeah. Oh,
bars.
man. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, he had a lot to say. But that's Charlemagne.
Never known him to be,
see
tough with words. He's always got plenty to say.
Yeah, plenty. That guy. That guy.
Well, listen, Jordan, man, the book is fantastic, and I really I appreciate your time. You are wonderful. I love your work outside of this book. I've been a fan for many years, so having the opportunity to talk to you in general has just been great. The book is called Choreplay, The Marriage-Saving Magic of Getting Your Head Out of Your Ass. Where do people go, Jordan, to find out more about you, maybe catch a show or whatever? Where do they go to find the details?
Absolutely. The easiest thing to do is go on Instagram, Jordan Carlos. I'm one of one, which is really cool. And then you can find me there. And then I've got all my links and everything like that for my comedy pages, you name it, right there on Instagram. I'll make it really simple, a lot of videos too. And I hope to see y'all out there. And please buy the book.
Jordan, again, thank you, man. I couldn't thank you more for this. It's great.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Jordan Carlos for his time. The book Choreplay, The Marriage-Saving Magic of Getting Your Head Out of Your Ass is available now wherever you get your books. Maybe it's a gift you want to get for your partner this Valentine's Day. Drop a few subtle hints. Actually, there's nothing subtle about this. I'm just saying. And thank you to all of you for listening. Until next time, be well.